Hi drama queens! Today's episode question is, can you believe someone like Jiho can host a totally hopping party where everyone gets drunk and rowdy? Let's see what they get up to. Nothing too illegal, I hope. So get comfy everybody, and let's binge. As you may recall at the end of episode 5, Jiho appears at Sang-Eun's home and tells her that he's been waiting for her. Are we going to see a heartfelt confession at the beginning of episode 6? Not a chance. Instead, Jiho tries to convince Sang-Eun to extend their contract. Sang-Eun is pissed upon hearing this and decides to ignore him, continuing on her hiking adventure. Funny enough, Jiho follows her and begs her to reconsider his proposal. He tells her that his boss arranged yet another gathering and he desperately needs her help to deal with these social situations. He can't bring himself to say that he wants to keep his relationship with her, instead using all kinds of excuses to keep her tied to him contractually. Sang-Eun feels bad for him as he continues to fumble and agrees to reconsider extending their contract. Back home eating lunch with Miss Yu and Woo, Sang-Eun finds herself spacing out and talking out loud to an imaginary Jiho. Her roommates are too distracted to care about her strange condition since they're busy bickering with each other. Woo mocks Miss Yu for dressing like a royalty even when she's just chilling at home all day, while Miss Yu insults Woo for being low class since he doesn't know how to use chopsticks properly. Miss Yu's insults, though, are nothing compared to what Woo has to deal with at work. He works as an instructor at a Taekwondo academy, and because he has previously rejected a student's advances, the person is spreading rumor that he's gay. Originally, Woo has stopped coming in order to avoid the situation, but his boss calls him into the office one day and reassures him that if he dispels the rumors, they will disregard the student and help put a stop to the rumors. Instead, Woo gets up the courage to tell his boss that he is in fact a homosexual. This is met with awkwardness and silence, prompting Woo to say his final goodbyes. At this moment, Jiho's at home, rehearsing how to convince Sang-Eun to extend her contract with him. When she arrives, she tells him that she's willing to help him with his upcoming work gathering. Jiho takes this to mean that she has no desire to extend the contract long-term and launches into his prepared argument. He plays the pity card by explaining that he has terrible social skills at work and it's all thanks to his boss' leniency that he's lasted this long. If Sang-Eun doesn't stick around and help him out, it's likely that he'll get fired soon. This time around, he doesn't give Sang-Eun time to back off and reconsider again and almost forcefully convinces her to commit on the spot. Next comes the problem of scheduling, since I'm sure you recall that Sang-Eun already has one part-time husband already. And here the male lead's immaturity really shows. Because they both want to negotiate on their home turf, they end up having to compromise and have a breakout session in the stairwell to work out the schedule. Hae-Jin finally agrees to give Jiho Monday, Wednesday, Friday under the condition that Jiho will babysit his cat when it's his turn with Sang-Eun. Reason being, Sang-Eun is allergic. Of course, Jiho agrees, but it's more for Sang-Eun's sake anyways. Back at home, Sang-Eun is playing the he loves me not game with herself again. Woo sneaks into her room with popcorn in hand and watches this drama unfold with glee. A few days later, Sang-Eun shows up at Hae-Jin's place for work. Jiho also comes to pick up Hae-Jin's cat diligently, and Hae-Jin is shocked once again by how obedient his aloof little furry friend is towards Jiho. During Hae-Jin's date with Sang-Eun, they talk about the past and why Hae-Jin has such a lasting impression of Sang-Eun. He explains that it's probably because their first meeting was so shocking. Sang-Eun expertly ruined the marriage of convenience with the kanji group that was forced upon her, which inspired Hae-Jin to choose his own path outside his family as well. During Sang-Eun's dinner with Jiho, she learns that he's the presiding judge for all her divorces, which is how he got her home address and showed up in the first place. She jokes that she was always so professional in trying to get the divorce proceedings done as fast as she could that she never bothered to look up at the judge. They spend the rest of the day shopping for everything needed to make Jiho's home seem more, homey. Suffice to say that Jiho is not a good shopper and relies on Sang-Eun heavily to make sense of it all. Sang-Eun's thought of everything, down to taking couple photos together to put up as evidence that they're they're actually married and living together. At night, Sang-Eun drives Ji-ho home in Miss Yu's car and notices that he's almost falling asleep after a hard day's work shopping. Sang-Eun tells Ji-ho that a lot of couples actually break up during wedding preparation because of the differences in opinions and the stress. Ji-ho lets out that he can totally relate, but Sang-Eun doesn't clue in that Ji-ho may have some personal experience in the matter. They then decide to get to know each other's backstory in case anyone asks during the party, and they learn that both set of parents passed away when they were really young. Eventually, Ji-ho reveals reluctantly that he was once married to his first love. That probably took a lot for him to open up. He leaves Sang-Eun to grapple with the news, not realizing that this simple sentence will impact her mood for days to come. When Sang-Eun goes on a hike with Woo, she expresses her jealousy at Ji-ho even having a first love. She obviously knows that he's now divorced, but what she doesn't know is if he still has lingering feelings for his ex. Finally, the day of the party has come. Woo doesn't need to work and doesn't need to hang out with Sang-Eun, so he promptly goes to sleep all day like a good little side character. He wakes up the next day, shocked to find Sang-Eun lying motionless on the couch. She tells him that she hasn't slept all night and has only just gotten home. He starts inferring that, maybe Ji-ho's finally let loose and they spend a passionate night together. But instead, Sang-Eun tells him what really went down. So the party started off smoothly, and then they encountered a few hiccups. First, Sang-Eun heard Ji-ho's co-worker speculate about how she doesn't drink and decided to overcompensate in order to minimize suspicion. The director's wife also organized a talent show, so by this point, Sang-Eun is totally drunk like most of the attendees. She showed off all of her moves during the talent show and was clearly the winner based on the roar of applause that followed her sultry performance. But for some reason, the first prize went to one of Ji-ho's female co-workers. You would think this is no big deal since it's all fun and games, right? Well, wrong. Ji-ho was dead serious when he insisted that first place should be Sang-Eun, and the contest was clearly rigged, causing the atmosphere to drop to an all-time low. It got to a point where his director had to lose his temper and show his disappointment in Ji-ho once again. After telling Woo the story, Sang-Eun rushes to her apartment with Hae-Jin. The pair goes for a walk in the park downstairs, and Sang-Eun finally gives in and falls asleep on Hae-Jin's shoulder. Hae-Jin rushes to catch her before she slides off, and he can feel his heart beat 1,000,000 times faster from the close contact. Unfortunately, Ji-ho walks by at this exact time and watches enviously as the intimate moment unfolds. In the bushes, the camera shutters are going crazy. For the first time, Hae-Jin is happy to be followed and recorded. In Dreamland, Sang-Eun catches a glimpse of a drunken memory from last night. In it, everyone's playing games, and when it came time for Sang-Eun and Ji-ho to kiss, Ji-ho states seriously that forced physical contact is a form of harassment and is punishable by law. Not wanting him to make things weird, Sang-Eun proactively goes to him and plants a kiss on his lips. After that, she tells him quietly, "You are my first love," which causes every cell of Ji-ho's body to get fired up. Jerking awake from the dream/memory, Sang-Eun can feel her face getting super hot. What she doesn't feel though is the loving gaze of Hae-Jin, who she's leaning on, or the presence of her crush standing steps away from them. Ji-ho's personality continues to be so hilarious to me. I don't know how he can be so bad at socializing and yet makes his way all the way to the top, becoming a judge. Also, I'm very happy for them that they finally had their first kiss. After 5 years, I'm sure it was much anticipated and all it's built up to be, except one of them can't even remember. As for Hae-Jin, is anyone Team Hae-Jin yet? I just don't really feel the chemistry, you know? Even their connection from the past is weak at best and not much to expand on, really. Well, let's carry on and see where it leads for all our adorable characters. Remember to subscribe and turn on notification so you know when the next episode of Love in Contract comes out. Thank you!